Alright, so welcome everybody for another lesson. This is Francisco. It's an educational video. If you're new, I'm going to welcome you to the channel. Please refrain from wild comments, alright? Let's try and keep it PG. So we're going to be getting into it again. You know, it's that time. Radahuna and the history and the destruction of the monarchy and the creation story. Also, we're going to be getting into similarities between the Americans and the Hawaiians. This cup. I didn't even see that shit. Alright, let's get it. Fair use. Damn, shit's dead.
But there were also rumors that he had been poisoned by Kamehameha. Under this cloud.
Okay, so we're gonna go back to where he was. So we got to if the king didn't rule upright, saying like, all right, let's say Kamehameha died and his son was like a playboy, meaning he didn't really care about the monarchy. He figured his dad would be around for another 30 years. Why should I care? I'll just do me, you know, live like a prince. So when he died, this smart stepmother that he had, she was so intelligent. She knew that her husband didn't have the utmost confidence in his ability. So she was able to say, let me advise him and make me a high-ranking official. And anybody in the right mind wouldn't think anything. They would be like, that's a smart idea. So when King Kamehameha died, everybody could see that they were making choices that wasn't for the people or for the kingdom. And they understood that what they were doing was harming the nation. So at this time, there was already probably coups being worked up to dethrone Kamehameha and install the priests as the rulers of the monarchy. And what happened was they went and used the Freemasons funding, used the funding of the missionaries, and they used all their weapons and they went and exterminated these warriors. And as long as they exterminated these priests, no one will have a strong claim to the throne, so they would be safe. All they had to do was take out the generals after the chiefs. Now here we go. Let's get into it.
The suspicion. The great king was prepared for his funeral rites. It is said that the wails of his people could be heard, but of his more than 20 wives.
So he had 20 wives, just like in Israel they had a lot of wives. King Solomon had like over 400 wives. So he had 20 wives, but this was his favorite wife.
If a man and woman were discovered eating together, they died. Both of them. They died. It was really simple.
The kapu system was the bedrock of native Hawaiian life until 1819, the year that King Kamehameha, now in his early 60s, suddenly got very sick. While traditional healers tried to save his life, the king was comforted by Kaahumanu, the favorite of his more than 20 wives. Not only was Kaahumanu beautiful, she was also a daughter, sister, and cousin of Hawaii's greatest warriors and a skillful politician in her own right. Kamehameha had decreed a kapu on Kaahumanu's body, meaning no one but the king could touch her.
Many songs and chants have been written about this in a very romantic way, that he put a kapu on her body because of his great love for her. Actually put a kapu on her body because he didn't want any other chief to get any ideas to take this great power away from him. If he lost these great generals, he would lose the islands.
On his deathbed, Kamehameha followed the British monarchy's lead and named his eldest son Liholiho as his heir apparent. Though she was...
See, this is another thing that had happened. You see, Kamehameha, even though he had accepted some Western ways, and had done negotiations with them, he had made sure that he kept the best generals that there was in Hawaii by his side. And with the strength of these generals, these chiefs, nobody could touch him. What happened? He was murdered. His chiefs was murdered. And the saboteurs became the rulers, and eventually Hawaii became slaves to the oppressors, to the Europeans and the Asians now.
And Liholiho's mother, he named Kaahumanu as the new king's chief counselor, the first woman in Hawaiian history to hold such an influential position. This was Kamehameha's final act. King Kamehameha died at his home in Kailua on May 8th, 1819. It may have been typhus, cholera, or any number of diseases that were sweeping the islands. But there were also rumors that he had been poisoned by Kaahumanu. Under this cloud of suspicion, the great king was prepared for his funeral rites. It is said that the wails of his people could be heard from ships anchored a mile offshore.
The great chief had died, and all of Hawaii was to undergo tremendous change. As the question came, who would rule in his place?
Kaahumanu had her own answer.
She summoned Liholiho and said, "Oh, Chief, there are your lands. Those are your chiefs. Here are your guns. But you and I will rule together."
Kaahumanu had her own answer.
She summoned Liholiho and said, "Oh, Chief, there..."
Kaahumanu destroyed the foundation of Hawaiian law by breaking its...
Liholiho was the puppet king.
Imagine,
She just beckoned him, and he came.
And that's not what she meant. And said, "Oh, Chief, there are your lands. Those..."
Kaahumanu had her own answer.
She summoned Liholiho and said, "Oh, Chief, there are your lands. Those are your chiefs. Here are your guns. But you and I will rule together." And that's not what she meant. She meant, I will rule. And if you're smart, you'll stay out of my way.
She was cunning.
Kamehameha
She was
had her own
smart.
answer.
Just like the women today. Huh? I mean, don't fuck around. You get in the bad grace of them? Oh. I'm telling you, you be fighting court cases for 20 years. You be getting all kinds of stuff happen to you. They will die before they stop making you pay. They be cunning. They get everything you have. They'll get you for everything. Right? And they be like, you shouldn't have messed with me. Right? Come on now. Don't tell me this shit ain't real. We gotta stop thinking like they different. Like they not like us or similar to us.
She summoned Liho and said, oh, Chief, there are your lands. Those are your chiefs. Here are your guns. But you and I will rule together. And that's not what she meant. She meant I will rule. And said, oh, Chief, there are your lands. Those are your chiefs. Here are your guns.
Like Auntie.
But you and I will rule.
Like Auntie Jemima or Grandma Gramsy be like, there's your stuff. There's your money. There's your stuff, kid. Bye. Alright? Go work.
Together. And that's not what she meant. She meant I will rule. And if you're smart, you'll stay out of my way.
So she took his place in council. She donned the cape. She was, for all intent and purposes, the sole ruler of the island. Liho was the puppet king.